This morning, President Trump is out for political revenge.
We're in a fight against the worst congressman in the history of our country. His name is Thomas Massie.
Massie's a Republican, but has often criticized the president over the national debt, the Iran war, and the Epstein files.
He's still in with the Epstein class. This is the Epstein administration.
Today's Kentucky House primary now seen as a crucial test of the president's power. In an unusual move for a sitting defense secretary, Pete Hegseth also hitting the campaign trail for Massie's opponent, former Navy SEAL Ed Galrain.
And too often, Thomas Massie has acted like his job is to stand apart from the movement that President Trump leads instead of strengthening it.
With the midterm election less than 6 months away, voters are also heading to the polls today for primaries in 5 other states. Among the issues, war in the Middle East. The president now says he's delayed another attack on Iran.
I was asked by Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and some others if we could put it off for 2 or 3 days, a short period of time, because they think that they are getting very close to making a deal.
President Trump also weighing in on a controversial new move by his Justice Department after the president dropped multiple lawsuits against the federal government, including the IRS, for a leak of his tax returns. In exchange, the DOJ setting up what it calls an anti-weaponization fund, using nearly $1.8 billion of taxpayer money to pay Trump allies who say they were unfairly prosecuted by the Biden administration.
These were people that were weaponized and really treated brutally by a system that was so corrupt.
That potentially includes January 6th rioters, whom the president pardoned. Overnight, the New York Times reporting the top lawyer at the Treasury Department resigned in the wake of the fund's creation.
Even though the DOJ says Trump and his family won't get paid from the fund, Democrats are calling the president's move corrupt and abuse of power and the MAGA slush fund. House Democrats are filing a brief seeking to stop the settlement. Savannah.
All right, Gabe, thank you. We want to turn now to Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, good morning. Let's go back to the primaries and talk about this Kentucky race. I mean, in recent primaries in other states, the president has demonstrated his resilience with the Republican primary voters. Can Massie pull this off in Kentucky?
Well, he can, but it's going to be close, Savannah. Look, tonight is another test of President Trump's strength and grip over the Republican Party. He's endorsed some 36 candidates in the Republican Party. And, of course, the biggest race is going to be that Kentucky House race by far. Look, just 2 years ago, Savannah, Congressman Massie won his primary with more than 75% of the vote. This time, he's running neck and neck with his opponent, Ed Galrain. The race is the most expensive primary House race in U.S. history. Just think about that. More than $30 million has been spent. So it gives you a sense of how much effort the president has poured into this. Massie has clashed with President Trump like few other Republicans. Now, look, a few months ago, President Trump even said he just wanted a warm body to challenge Massie. You can kind of think of this like a family feud within the GOP and also a test of how much a Republican lawmaker can actually disagree with the president and survive politically. This weekend, Senator Lindsey Graham telling me this is still the party of Trump. We'll get a better sense of that tonight, Savannah and Craig.
Yeah, we saw what happened down in Louisiana. Kristen, just on a macro level here, less than 6 months now until the midterms. What are you seeing in terms of strategy from Democrats and Republicans in the battle for control of Congress?
It's a good question because tonight is, of course, going to set the stage for November. The GOP has had a series of legal victories lately. That's a big part of their strategy, their effort to rewrite congressional maps. And all told, Republicans may actually be able to pick up an extra 6 to 10 House seats because of those victories. But look, the Democrats feel like they have the messaging and momentum on their side. They've put the economy and affordability front and center. In a recent New York Times poll, in fact, President Trump's approval rating is down at 37%, 59% disapproving. That's a new low. And his policies from the Iran war to the economy are also deeply unpopular. And look, that same poll found voters saying if the election were held today, they'd go for the Democratic congressional candidate by 11 points. So a couple of things we'll be watching for tonight: the strength of the turnout, who shows up to vote, are there any cracks in the MAGA base, and what all of this tells us about enthusiasm as we head to the fall. Craig, Savannah.
All right. Well, stay hydrated, Kristen. It's a long night for you. We'll be watching as the results roll in. Complete Decision 2026 coverage throughout the evening. It'll be live on NBC News now.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.